Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Pisces energy. And we're going to get a 10 card spread out. Then we're going to get some cards out of the Intuit deck. And at the end, we're going to ask what could be coming up that people don't see coming. And we're going to look at it from a couple different perspectives and ask what could be coming up for people versus depending on if they harness a more high vibrational Pisces energy or a more shadowy Pisces energy. Because not everybody, life's about learning lessons, and not everybody's motivated and inspired by love. People can have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship, and they could kind of indulge their more immature nature, which can be their fear, their insecurity, their pride, their ego, lazy, self-centered, egotistical, materialistic nature. And if you harness high vibe Pisces energy, which we all tap into Pisces energy, you'd probably want to be in relationships with people who harness high vibe Pisces energy. But not everybody does, and we just need to see the truth of it. The truth sets us free. So listen to your intuition about where you might be in the story, how you harness your Pisces energy, how some other people in your life might harness their Pisces energy, and we'll go from there. Okay. I'll turn down the camera here. This is almost exactly the same cards as Capricorn's reading, except it was walking away from the Hierophant and the Sagittarius energy. So just a little bit different for Pisces in that row. Okay. And then we'll shuffle the Intuit deck. 3 decks combined from their Etsy shop. Okay. Practice. And the reason that came out is because of anger. Wow. You know, we can all go through life situations that we're upset it didn't turn out maybe the way we wanted, or based on how people act. And the practice card can be, you know, how do we handle that? And are we able to balance out our emotions that some people kind of act in certain ways that we don't like? And, you know, because if we can kind of wrap our brain around it, I look at the practice card as kind of like Sagittarius energy, which is about higher learning and education. You know, we can kind of wrap our brain around the fact that everybody is the way they are based on lessons they've learned in life and their own unique traits, characteristics, and ways of viewing life. And we are able to move on from it and kind of not stay in our ego about it and pain and heartbreak about it. And as some people are able to move forward in life, maintaining balance within themselves in the face of people who could be hurtful or unkind, that can really make those people mad. Because sadly, there are some shadowy people in the world, and they want to confuse people about the truth. They want you to be confused. They could want you to be hurt and in your ego. And when you keep maintaining balance within yourself, that can really make those people mad. So let's go see. I look at this card here as kind of the overarching reason for the reading. And this is the Hierophant card, which is Taurus energy, which has to do with our philosophy of life and the lessons that we've learned. Our Taurus energy is like the Supreme Court in our head. We have to debate these things in our dualistic nature. And it's kind of the Supreme Court, the law of the land of how we live our life. And some people have learned some lessons, more lessons than some other people. And high vibe Pisces is where you are able to offer love to yourself, to transition out of things that you need to transition out of, and love and believe in yourself, be more independent so you don't kind of let all these things or people in the world manipulate you, because there's negative energy in the world that tries to get you in your fear and your insecurity and your pride and your ego. And, life-giving energy wants you to have hope and faith and belief in your dreams. But we live in a world of duality. Our own shadow nature doesn't want us to love and believe in ourselves. And then we can have other people in our life who want to be in a relationship with us, but they want us in shadowy energy, fear, codependency, or whatever. And if we have done this work to kind of wrap our brain around this game of life, work through our own pain and heartbreak and fears and anger, we're able to incorporate that into our philosophy of life, and we can move forward not letting it kind of destabilize us. Okay? But other people are kind of more shadowy. Taurus is more stubborn and prideful. They have a way of living their life, and you're supposed to live your life like that too. And they want to be in a relationship with you, maybe some of them, but they want you to do life the way they do it. And you're kind of more in high vibe Sagittarius Pisces energy. You're kind of more of a free spirit. A lot of people have a lot of rules and regulations in their head of how you're supposed to live life. Talk to these people, don't talk to these people. Only go to this place if these other people go. Otherwise, you don't go. That'd be bad for your image or your reputation. Only wear these clothes, don't wear those clothes. Act like this, don't act like that. And it's all this stuff of some people that are so motivated and inspired in a shadowy Sagittarius energy to have a certain status and image in the world, and they want people to view them a certain way. And it can really make them mad if you don't conform to all those rules and regulations that they do. You're just living your authentic life. High vibe energy, operating from love. I treat people with love and respect. I'm authentic. I offer people love and encouragement. And other people could view you in high regard, and other people don't like that, because you're not playing by the rules that they play by, and they've put a lot of work and effort trying to create this illusion by all these different things that they do to have people view them a certain way. And they don't like it that people view you kind of in high regard, because you're not doing those things that they're doing. It's like I'm being authentic and just living my authentic life, where some people are kind of being superficial and shallow, and they do all these things and talk to all these people that they maybe don't want to do and don't even want to talk to. But it's all good for their image, and that's really important to them. It's like, how about you go live your authentic life? But anyway, we have the Ace of Cups, the Two of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. High vibe people, you can look at fire energy as kind of listening to your intuition, being inspired to listen to love and intuition to guide you, to align with your more hopeful, believing, loving nature. You have the free will, which some people did, to make their life more about loving themselves, and they think that's what will make them happy. And making their life more about this worldly view of life. What is people's philosophy of life? We have a dualistic nature. We can choose to make it more about us, more about ego and image, and we're sure those things we indulge in or that we make our life about will make us happy. Other people, their philosophy of life is, I align with my more hopeful, believing, creative, inspired, loving nature. I'm not so much about trying to conform to the world. I just live my authentic life. I put in work and effort to have stability and security and friends and family just like everybody else. I just am not... High vibe people are being truthful and honest and authentic. A little more worldly, shadowy people could be more trying to create an illusion. It's kind of trying to manipulate people to view them a certain way. And they might not be very authentically loving. It's to create the illusion of being loving so that people will want to be in a relationship with them. And so some of you have known some people who are like that. They're kind of more driven by themselves and these things of the world, and that's fine. Different strokes for different folks. We come in contact with all these different people to help us get clear about our truth. And some of you wish those people peace, and you moved on in the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups. You could have found some people in your life to be a little more superficial and shallow, more about themselves or these things of the world than being motivated and inspired to be more independent from their own shadow nature and the world, to do love and be more authentic and loving, someone that you could have a deep, meaningful relationship with, and they weren't that. So you moved on. Now, those people could be mad because they wanted you to stay balancing out your emotions about continuing to work at that job, be in that friendship, or be in that relationship, or for some people, a marriage. But you kind of found it confusing because you offered someone love to bring a dream into reality. The Two of Wands, we have a dream. We want to bring a dream into reality. The thing is, we get in relationships with people and we kind of have different ideas of what that means and how we want to move forward in it. Some other people in your life, instead of becoming more independent, they wanted to keep moving forward in that same philosophy of life. It made them happy. They were kind of indulging themselves in the relationship. But you could have found them to be people who aren't very balanced and really haven't learned some lessons in life. And again, it could be more about them being indulged in a relationship. I want to be immature. I want to be bossy. I want to be this. I want to be that. And you're just supposed to balance out your emotions about it, and you're supposed to keep moving forward with me in a relationship. It's like, I thought we were on the same page. I thought we were both willing to offer love to the past, to be more independent of the past and past pain and heartbreak and some fears and insecurities, and about being more about ourselves. Because if we're really going to bring a dream into reality, love is where you're supposed to treat each other the way you like to be treated. And you're supposed to work cooperatively together. And some people are like, well, no, you should put in the work and effort. That would be, they want Taurus as energy, as earth sign energy, of putting work and effort to make things stable and grounded and victorious and balanced and loving. And they just want to come along and indulge themselves in you putting in that work and effort. They might put in work and effort to have more stability or security or something, but you're supposed to put the work and effort to like make the relationship work in a way. And it's like, that's interesting. So you listen to your intuition about what you should invest. The Seven of Pentacles is also Taurus energy. About your philosophy of life versus these other people's philosophy of life. And some people right now are just taking some time. You know, they could be telling some people in their life, you know, I love you, but I kind of need to take some time to think about what I want to invest in. And I could, you know, because people run out of patience eventually. How long do you keep kind of indulging people in some poor behavior? You know, and maybe it's like we maybe both need to take some time to think. And then we have this card not showing itself, which is the Knight of Cups. Pisces energy. What are our dreams, our aspirations? What do we think would be emotionally fulfilling? Are both people willing to offer love to themselves? Some people don't think that's their job. No, I'm here. You're supposed to offer me love. Kind of both these cups are coming towards them. And some people harness the shadowy Aries energy, regardless of what zodiac sign they are. We all tap into Aries energy. We're either more about ourselves, and some people have a dream of being happy. Other people are supposed to offer them a cup of love. And if those people love them, then they'll move forward with them. But it's kind of like, you love me, and I'll move forward in a relationship with you. It's like, oh, what about you offering me a cup of love in return? Oh, no, I don't really do love. I don't do Knight of Cups. That's not how I view life. You know? And again, anybody, you know, Pisces energy can be where people have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. They got some growing up to do. And if that's how some people view relationships and marriages, I'm more about me. Maybe some people, for some reason, the Two of Wands can be that people are expecting their ship of dreams to come into reality. There's some people who look like their ship of dreams is going to come into reality. They are going to have these things of the world that people want. Taurus energy is about the stability and the security and, all those good things. And so some people's philosophy of life is, if I have those things of the world, if I'm attractive, if I have power, influence, social clout, money, people should want to be in a relationship with me, male or female. And that's how they view life. I'm just waiting for someone to make me a love offer and love me. I love me, I'm more about me. And then I'll move forward with you in a relationship. And I'm going to indulge myself in this relationship while you put work and effort into making the relationship victorious and successful. Because Taurus is fixed sign energy, and that's kind of the earth sign energy we tap into when we're in a relationship. If you're someone who puts work and effort into making a relationship work. And that can be what some people are looking for. I'm looking for a loving person who might be kind of naive and gullible about people like this in the world. Perfect. You haven't dealt with them, or maybe that's a pattern. We all can repeat a pattern, and we all grew up probably kind of indulging some people in our life that could have been a little bit more about themselves, like to be indulged, a little prideful, a little egotistical, maybe a little immature, who you grew up with. And then that's kind of a pattern that we have. We're kind of used to putting in work and effort to get along with those people and be loving and nurturing, even though some of those people aren't that way with us. And so we'll kind of keep repeating that pattern once we get older and get in relationships with people, because that is our pattern. That's kind of what we're used to. But, it was one thing to have to do that and indulge people kind of when we were children because we were more codependent on them. And there's some people we get into relationships as adults and jobs. That's what they like, to repeat that pattern. I want you to be more codependent on me. I like playing that role in your life. Kind of like I'm the parent and you're the child. I'm the boss, you're the employee. And you're kind of supposed to indulge me, regardless if I act petty and immature, bossy, rude. You're just supposed to indulge me. I don't kind of have a different idea about what I think is just and fair than maybe you do. But, if they think it would be people abusing their power. I think because you want this job, I don't have to treat you. I think I like to present myself as someone who walks the talk, but I don't really walk the talk. And I think I can kind of do what I want, and I think you'll stay because you want this job. Well, it's the same way people do that in relationships. I don't think even later when you find out the truth that I'm not who you thought you were, and you kind of see through the illusion, it might be hard to walk away because you did invest in it. You could have, you took the job, you've been in the friendship for a long time, you got in the relationship, or you got married. And then our more worldly, egoic nature, we struggle to balance out our emotions about it because of these things of the world, and our ego gets involved. And we want it to work. We want the stability, the security. We want the job if it's a job. We'd rather have things that we invest in work than for them not to work. And so then we kind of got to take that time to really think about what our truth is. Are we willing to give up our dreams to stay in a relationship that we feel is more an illusion? We start to wonder if the people that we got in relationships with were hiding the fact that they harness a more immature Taurus energy than a more mature Taurus energy. People who try to present themselves as pillars of society, but they really don't walk the talk. And then people who can just look at relationships as if it's a good investment. Is this good for my ego and my image and my status? Okay. But they don't really invest in it emotionally, or don't think they should have to. And so then people have to take this time, and with the card not showing itself, is take this time to kind of, within themselves that other people don't really know it, to offer themselves this cup of love to work through this emotional confusion, walking away from the Seven of Cups, the emotional confusion. I can have love for people, but if people want me to keep indulging them in their poor behavior, am I going to keep hanging out with those people? I can know all sorts of people and not spend much time visiting with certain people. I can choose, if I already am dating them, did marry them, am I willing to love and believe in myself to stand up for what I believe in? Yeah. High vibe, Hierophant, and high vibe energy is to adhere to a higher truth and justice. If people are not acting in a just and fair, truthful, honest, acting with character and integrity, am I supposed to stay in it? I think it's an injustice, and I think we were given our intuition to help guide us that takes precedent over some of these worldly, egoic things that people can try to impress upon us. And some people did decide, and some people are now deciding that I'm not going to invest in this anymore. And we have another card not showing itself because feeling like the other people hide that they emotionally are more invested either in someone else, have an allegiance to like other people in their life, even if that's a friend group or their original family group. And if they get in a relationship or marriage, you're like a third party to that relationship because that is the primary relationship in their life. Or they emotionally indulge themselves in a shadowy Libra-Taurus energy that they think it's just and fair to be more about them, and they think people should indulge them. They kind of indulge being more about themselves, and when they get in relationships where people want them to quit emotionally in their more immature nature, making it more about themselves, to become more independent of being more about themselves, to work together, they keep giving in to being more about themselves. And people realize their dream isn't going to come into reality, that if they keep staying in these workplaces and friendships and relationships, they're going to have to keep indulging this person in their poor behavior when that person doesn't emotionally invest in love. They emotionally invest in themselves, tipped out of balance where it's more about them. Shadowy energy is more about us than being more just and fair and balanced and investing in love. High vibe Libra Taurus energy. Being just, being fair, treating other people the way you like to be treated. Acting with character and integrity. And as some people already did get out of those, as some people are now getting out of those, the people who already did that, they kind of wish those people peace and had done this work within themselves to work through the emotional confusion that some people in their life they had viewed as just and fair and loving people in their life. And it takes time to work through that some people, if they were in that energy at one point in time, there's no telling when in people's life, people are going to kind of drive their life off into the ditch, start to become more about themselves, get caught up in addiction or lust or greed or pride or ego or fear or stubbornness or who knows, And it takes time to work through that. And some people have worked through that. They have no interest in emotionally investing in those people in that type of relationship anymore. So some of you had to cut some people out of your life that you kind of realized harnessed some shadowy Pisces, Libra, Taurus energy, what they thought was just and fair in a relationship, and the illusions they had about the dream life was different than your idea of what was just and fair and the dream life. So then you could have went to make an offer that people don't know about, with this not showing itself, to some people in your life who you think are more on the same page as you. People who harness some high vibe Aries and high vibe Pisces energy, motivated and inspired by love. And you made your offer in truth and love, and then, you're moving forward to let some of those people did move forward with you, between friends, family, adult children, whoever. And some of the people, if it was a romantic interest, some of those people move forward with you. For some of the people in your life, whoever they are, you told them your truth, and you're continuing to move forward in life, and then they have to do this work within themselves to kind of balance out their emotions about their philosophy of life and how they're living their life and who they're in relationships with and aligning with in the world, and why they're in those aligning with those things or people, and why they think those people might be aligning with them. Are we aligned with our truth, or are we not? Some of the people we could have communicated with, they're all, you're right, they were kind of on the same page as you, but they've already moved on in their own loving relationships. We can know people, work with people, we don't know they're in a relationship, and they're like, oh, that's great, thanks for thinking I was on the same page as you, but I'm already in kind of a high vibe relationship. It's like, oh, okay, well then no dream can come into reality there, and we love ourselves to keep moving forward. Some people we don't know, we can reach out to people to be friends, to date, and some of those people don't move forward with us, and we don't know, if we spoke our truth in love, they know how we view life, and they know how they view life, and some of those people are like, oh, again, thanks for thinking I was on the same page as you, but I'm not. So you have to go find someone else, because I am one of those people who might be a little bit more about myself or these things of the world, or like to try to manipulate people in a relationship, and I don't think you'd put up with that stuff, so I'm not really on the same page, but thanks for thinking I was. And other people, sometimes we just don't know, so we just have to assume, we don't know. They could be more high vibe, they could be more low vibe, who knows? We just keep maintaining our balance, trusting that the divine has a plan for our life. All we can do is go out in the world and offer people truth and love, treat them the way we like to be treated, listen to our intuition, and not tip out of balance in being angry and mad, and why aren't those people attracted to me or want to be my friend or whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's what some people in some shadowy energy would be doing. It's not fertile soil to grow your life from. So the high vibe people, keep listening to their intuition and keep being careful about, the Seven of Pentacles can talk about being careful about who you invest your time, energy, and effort into. But definitely knowing there's some people you're not interested in being in a relationship. Listening to your intuition about the people in your life who you do think are more on the same page as you. What's coming up for some people? Oh, yeah. And again, there could be some people who are mad because you love and believe in yourself, and they wanted you to keep indulging them and wanting to work things out with them. But you're listening to your intuition, and with some of those people, you already know the truth of who they are. And you don't want to invest in them anymore. They just don't know that. And as long as you keep maintaining balance within yourself and you don't emotionally invest in thinking it's just and fair to act more out of your ego and your lust and your greed and blah, blah, blah. Some of those people, that would be the only reason some of them would get back in a relationship with you. Like watching you. Boy, if I ever see that person out drinking too much or seeming all sad and lonely, boy, I'm going to charge in there then. But only if you're in shadowy energy. So long as you keep loving yourself, listening to your intuition, and maintaining balance and walking the talk, those people know they kind of don't have a shot with you because you're not in shadowy energy, and they can't play on your pain or your heartbreak or your ego or your lust or your greed because you're not in that energy. What's coming up for some people who harness some high vibe Pisces energy? The Star, the Ten of Swords, the High Priestess, and the reason is because of the Chariot. So the Chariot is Cancer energy, about love for yourself. Because you love yourself and you want an emotionally balanced, loving relationship, you could see that someone you were in a relationship with kind of harnesses their Aquarius Cancer energy in a more shadowy way. Maybe caught up again more in themselves or about the things of the world. And you realize the truth. They don't operate really from love. It's good for their ego or their image or their status. And it could be, as you're moving forward in your life, there could be other people that come towards you. As you're moving forward, there's going to be other people who you meet. And I think you're just going to listen to your intuition. The people who harness this energy in a more shadowy way, no, you're not going to move forward with them. The Ten of Swords is like, nope, not doing it. Because you've also learned to listen to your intuition. And your intuition was given to you as a gift to help you navigate in this world. And it doesn't pop up in our head all the time. But when we are in a situation, that's when our intuition would be like, this person's smiling in your face, but I think they're evil or immature or prideful or egotistical or whatever. We should distance ourselves. You've learned to listen to your intuition, because I think intuition, like our sixth sense, and just like bats have sonar to navigate in the dark, our intuition was given to us to navigate in the dark because of the fact that people can present themselves any way they want to in the world. And so long as they wear a good social mask and have a certain status or image or looks or whatever, we can be tempted by it. But our intuition is like, do not move forward with those people. And you learn to listen to your intuition. Now, there's other people who might try to communicate with you, trying to tempt you in your more worldly nature to stop you from listening to your intuition, because they do want to be in a relationship with you. But it's like, I've already been in relationships with people who are more about ego and image or themselves. And I don't want to be in relationships with people like that anymore. And the people that are like that already, and they haven't changed, other people who your intuition kind of tells you they're the same way, you're going to move away from them too. And there's going to be other people that do harness this energy in a high vibe way. Some of those people were hiding that they wanted to move forward with you in this type of relationship. They were watching you move forward in your life, and they were sitting back here watching you move forward in your life. Some of those people are going to put an end to hiding, and they're going to take action towards you. You could have met them, talked to them, you moved on your way, they sat back here, weren't willing to come towards you, and probably until they did this work with themselves, to just feel more stable and grounded within themselves and appreciate what they bring to the table, to love and believe in themselves, and they're done hiding the truth. They do want to move forward with you in a relationship. And if they came to realize that they were in a relationship that was kind of more shadowy, they're done moving forward in relationships that are more shadowy or more about ego and image. They're going to listen to their intuition and choose love. What's coming up? So basically, you're going to move forward. The Chariot talks about moving forward in an emotionally balanced, loving, successful way, swiftly. And the Star talks about you're going to have your dreams come into reality. What's coming up for the more shadowy people? The Tower and the Knight of Swords. Why? Because of the King of Wands. When people are acting kind of shadowy, they're always going to have some people in their life that did want to be in relationship with them, that were trying to inspire them with truth and love, dealing with someone in the Tower who operates from their unstable, shadowy nature. Because if you want to build a solid foundation in your life, it's to be built on love. But some people try to build their life on ego, illusion, whatever, you know. It's not a stable foundation. But they've had people in their life that were trying to inspire them to see the truth. But people weren't willing to see the truth. And eventually people in their life are like, I'm done. You don't want, the Tower's like, nope. I don't want that foundation. They don't want to see the truth. And eventually other people see the truth of it. Okay. You can live your life the way you want it, and I'm going to let go of this relationship. Harnessing high vibe Gemini Aries energy, but the other people are harnessing a more shadowy Gemini Aries energy. Their truth is what they align with is being more about themselves, wanting to look like a boss in the world, maybe wanting to be the boss of other people's lives, instead of choosing love. And some of the people in their life have been trying to get them to see the truth. It's about love, and they don't want to see it. So eventually people are like, fine, you do you. You keep making your life about those things, and I'm going to move on. And that could be a shock to these people. Because, again, they might have a lot of status, image, money, social clout, whatever, attractive, whatever they got going on, that for some reason they think people would never leave being in a relationship with me, so long as I'm willing to stay in a relationship with them, because I have these things of the world. But that isn't the driving factor in people's life, everybody's life. Some people are motivated and inspired by love, and they don't get it. So some of those people and some of the people you know could be having some people leave their life again because other people see the truth of who they are. And they could have went and tried to manipulate another loving person in a relationship or hired someone else in the job that you left. And they're acting in the same shadowy way they were before. And high vibe people listen to their intuition. I don't think this person really is who they say they are. I don't think they're being truthful and honest. I think they're kind of a little bit more about themselves or codependent. They create the illusion they're willing to bring a dream into reality, but it never keeps coming into reality. And ultimately, if we don't heal and grow and mature ourselves and be willing to humble ourselves to admit that maybe we have some lessons learned in life or healing or growing or maturing to do or something, ultimately, they'll have other people who want to be in a relationship with them. Hey, you got those things of the world. I want those things of the world. Yeah, I'll be in a relationship with you. That's good for my ego and image. And then there's some people that, sometimes what goes around comes around. And if there's some people that very much are about their ego and image and status and stuff like that, it's kind of like the most important thing in their life. There's other people who use their intuition in a shadowy way. There's always bigger fish in the sea, right? Predators. And what some of these people don't realize, they had loving people that they could have worked through some of their emotional confusion and their fears and their insecurities and their defensive nature and their past pain and heartbreak to be more independent in the world and they chose not to do that, well, they might have a shadowy person come into their life. If loving people couldn't get them to see the truth, well, that can be when the devil comes in your life, right? And there's other people that are intuitive. This person had an opportunity to have their dreams come into reality with emotionally loving people who walked the talk, and they didn't move forward with them. Why? And other people are like, that's just the kind of person I like to be in a relationship with. I can use the fact that they are so driven by their ego and their image and their status. I think I can use that to control them. And I'll go get in a relationship with them. And I'll make a small gesture, present myself as a pillar of society, and that person might have status or image or power or influence or attractive, whatever it is they use, and I'll get them to move forward with me because I know they're more about these things, and I'm going to hide the fact that now I think they should indulge me in a relationship, because that's kind of what a shadowy relationship is, and shadowy Taurus energy. If I'm not going to act with character and integrity and be authentic and be just and fair, I'm trying to manipulate you to get you to do what I want. And then it's kind of like whoever has more status, image, power, whatever, they're the person who they think should be indulged. So just like some of these people thought some of the high vibe people in their life should indulge them, the shoe might be on the other foot now. Someone else could come in to get in a relationship with them that wants them to indulge them. Shoes on the other foot now. And maybe that might make them see the truth about themselves. You know, I sometimes think it'd be really funny to a fly on the wall. You know how things that some people, and probably you, have said to different people in your life that you've been in relationships, and we've heard about other people, and oh my gosh, and I tell her, and I tell him, and and then you wonder when some of these people get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves, how shocking it must be when some of the things that people used to tell them, but they didn't, oh, that person's complaining, oh, that person's just getting bent out of shape or whatever. And then those same words are coming out of their mouth to someone they're in a relationship with. Is like, oh my gosh. Now I got myself in a relationship with someone like me, but I didn't see that truth about myself when I was doing it. But now that someone is doing that to me, it would be just kind of like a bully. Well, I didn't realize how that made other people feel until someone started to bully me. Well, does that make you change your behavior and quit being more about yourself and bossy and controlling and immature? Have you seen the light? But some of them, they will stay in it because the most important thing is this is good for my ego and my image and status. It makes me look like a boss. So even though it's unstable, unjust, unfair, people are defensive, people would like to walk away secretly, they're going to stay in it because they love the status and the image and the money and all that stuff. So they'll stay in it anyway. Other people weren't willing to sacrifice their life for those things of the world. So there you go, Pisces energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.